We now would like to invite for Democratic Republic of Congo, Dr. Mpoko Bokanga, the Executive Director of PHC Foundation. Yes. So please, Dr. Bokanga on the stage. PHC, basically the company is operating out of DRC. They produce crude palm oil and palm kernel oil, and they have about 22,000 hectares of plantation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Like we say in Congo, mbote mingi. Actually, the two speakers before me has emphasized the importance of palm oil in Nigeria, in Ghana, and they spoke about Africa. I'm going to take you to Central Africa, to DR Congo, and I'm going to focus on oil palm. Because what is happening now, I think, is extremely important. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the ISP for coming to Africa, because as you will see in the presentation, the palm oil story started in Africa, but when it went to Asia, it became something else. And now it is time for it to come back. And maybe ISP Africa is the way to come back. Africa, as we heard from the previous speakers, has an untapped potential for producing oil palm. It is estimated that there are about 275 million hectares available for planting oil palm across Africa. So the regions of Central Africa, Cameroon, DR Congo, Gabon are very suitable for oil palm. But West Africa, as we heard, in Ghana, in Nigeria, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, all these countries have very, very high potential. So we say there's untapped opportunities for growing the palm oil industry in Africa. Actually, I looked at the literature, and Patterson in 2021 did a projection where will oil palm be growing in the next 50 and 100 years. By 2050, this is the picture. In red, what you have is the highly suitable area. In yellow, suitable area, and in blue, marginal area. And you can see this is the current situation almost, that in Southeast Asia, by Central Africa, and also parts of Brazil, that's where the oil palm is growing. But when you move to the next, to 2100, the picture changed. You see, Latin America will not be a major player, but Southeast Asia and Central Africa region are going to remain the very important region for producing oil palm. So this is to just tell you that DR Congo, for the many, many years to come, will be the best place for the oil palm industry. And as we've heard from previous speaker, Africa has a large and growing consumer base. We've been consuming palm oil for thousands and thousands of years, and we continue to do so. Our population is increasing 3% per year, so the demand is going to follow consumption. But it is estimated that the demand for palm oil is growing at 6% per annum. More than the population rate, because the palm oil can go in so many manufactured products, but also, as we heard, the biodiesel is one opportunity. It has not hit Africa yet, but when it does, it will increase the demand for palm oil. And as we heard from the previous speaker, we have a very large deficit in terms of palm oil. Only 40% of the palm oil we consume in Africa is coming from Africa. 60% is coming from outside. So the demand is there, and we need to increase our capacity to produce. And DRC is the place. I'm going to tell you the story of DRC, because we have great potential, and I'm going to illustrate this potential with what my company has been doing in the past 4 or 5 years. We have great availability of genetic material, and I'll come back to that. I think the name Yangambi says something to all the oil palm people. We have good weather, abundant land. There is affordable labor. We're 100 million people in DRC, and unemployment is very high, especially among the youth. So an industry like the palm oil, they require lots of hands. You have good opportunities in Africa. And we need to tackle the poverty issue. And I think we can talk to our brothers from Malaysia, Indonesia, and they can tell us how they use the oil palm in the palm oil industry to fight poverty, to fight unemployment. And I think we can learn something from them and do the same thing in Africa. Now, there are two discoveries I would like to mention that, can I go back, please? No? Back? 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 Somebody else is manipulating this. Next. Okay, here. I think everybody who grows oil palm use the Tenera varieties. And in the wild, you find the Dura type, the Tenera type, and the Piscifera type. The Tenera is the one that has small nuts. The Dura has big nuts and less productivity. And the Piscifera has no nuts, but it doesn't grow very well. And everybody wanted to use Tenera, but they didn't know how to control the production of Tenera. Research done in DR Congo by, at that time, Belgian scientists, identified that you need to cross the Dura and the Piscifera to obtain 100% Tenera. And so that has enabled the industry to be built on the Tenera variety. There's one discovery in Congo. The second one, if I can go to the next picture, back, is the engineering. The engineering of the oil palm oil production was actually tested in DR Congo from 1952 to 1955 in a pilot plant. That's where all the engineering principles were established, and that was published in a report called the Mongana Report. And all the palm oil engineers know about the Mongana Report, and actually, if you talk to Ravi Menon and Sue Wailin from MPOB, they wrote in 2018 that very little has changed since the 1950s when the Mongana Report was produced. So Congo has contributed both on the genetics of oil palm to support the plantation and on the engineering side. Unfortunately, Congo did not benefit very much from this discovery, but the Asians did. So the next, the next slide will show that by 1961, Congo was producing 200,000 tons of palm oil. Nigeria was 670. 60 years later, Congo only managed to grow to 300,000, and Nigeria is now 1.4 million tons. But look at what happened in Malaysia and Indonesia. In 61, actually, they were producing less than Nigeria and Congo. But by 2021, they multiplied their production by 191 times what they were doing in 1960. So it is possible to increase rapidly the production of palm oil. And I'm going to use the example of our company to demonstrate that. The opportunity we have in Congo is that we have very good genetic material. Most varieties that are used around the world, if you look at the pedigree, you will find that Yangambi is probably one of the parents that led to that variety. Yangambi is the name of a town in DR Congo where we have our agricultural research station. So where the palm oil research, the oil palm research was being done. So it tells you if a variety is called Yangambi, it probably came from there. And we do have many other different varieties that are high performance, and they are adapted to different agroecological zones. We also, DRC is a very large country. Actually, it's the only country in Africa that has 2 time zones because it is so big. And we estimate there are about 80 million hectares of land for agriculture, but that's for food crop agriculture. In 2019, CIFOR estimated that there are at least 167 million hectares available for oil palm. But if we remove 13% that are in protected area, we are left with 145 million hectares of land available for oil palm production. And we do have also, because of bad politics in the 70s in DRC, many abandoned plantations, about 2,000 plantations that were abandoned. So if you take those plantations and put them back into production, you cannot be taxed of cutting the forest. And deforestation is one of the challenges for the oil palm industry. But in Congo, we can find land that is not in the forested area. We also have abundant labor, I mentioned, because unemployment is very high. We have high population, and we need to use the palm oil industry to create employment and to create wealth, just like Malaysia and Indonesia did in their country. So I'm going to give you an example of how one company is actually capitalizing on the opportunities of oil palm. Plantation et Huileries du Congo, that's the name of my company, and I would like to acknowledge Madame Cynthia Bashizi, who is with me. She's the Director of Communication from DRC. And we are the largest producer of palm oil. Yes, this is Cynthia Bashizi, Director of Communication. And the history of the company goes back to 1911, when William Lever of the Lever brothers went to DRC to start the palm oil business to supply his soap factory in England, and the rest, as they say, is history. He went on to create Unilever in the 1930s, so our company was part of the Unilever empire. And somewhere in 2009, Unilever got out of the business. They sold the share in the company to a group called Feronia. Feronia tried to manage the business until 2020, where they went out of the business. And up to there, the ownership of the company was European-based. But since 2020, Kuramo Capital Management took control of the business. They bought the share that Feronia had. And Kuramo Capital is a fund, private equity fund, created by a Nigerian and 2 Kenyans. And so it's an African investment that took over the company. And since then, they came with a new vision, and that has changed this company completely. This is the map of DRC. It can't fit on a slide because it's such a big country. And you can see where Kinshasa is, the capital. And the 3 red dots, that's where we have 3 sites, 3 plantations. The total concession of our land is 103,000 hectares, but only less than 30% is dedicated for oil palm plantation. We have about 25,000 hectares of conserved forest with high conservation value that we don't allow anybody to touch. And about 47,000 hectares is degraded forest that we don't use, but the community can use for their own food production. And 2% of the land is for the infrastructure, the road, and so the offices and the factory and so on. And the Kuramo Capital Management came with a new vision on how to manage the company. And this vision was to create shared prosperity through agribusiness, and by trying to be a global leader in sustainable environmental practices. And we have put this in practice, And it has given us the result that we have here. If you look at these slides, on the left-hand side is the performance under Feronia. But the pink side, that's the performance under Kuramo Capital Management. And you can see we've been able, between 2021 and 2024, to increase production by 20% year on year. And we would like to continue on that momentum to keep producing. How did we do that? First, by increasing labor productivity. We had to work on our workers with better wages, increasing performance, recognizing the performance of the worker, and providing training so that the worker knows what to do. Higher plantation productivity, applying the best practices, that has allowed us to increase our yield. All our increase 20% per year is without increasing the land under cultivation, but just increasing productivity, increasing yield. And then we have also increased the milling efficiency. For instance, the oil extraction rate, we went from around 19-20%, now we are 23%, and this year we need to hit 24%, reducing oil loss and so on and so forth. So it is possible to do it. Now, in addition to the business, there is a tremendous social impact that the company has. The company owns and operates 4 major hospitals. We have a combined total of 460 beds for patients. We serve about 150,000 people. We have 10,000 employees and their families. They have free medical care. And the community around them who are not employed by us pay a small fee to have best quality medical care. Even though we are located in very remote area, we provide the kind of health care that you can find in the capital city of Kinshasa. We do provide potable water. We have about 70 boreholes that have been dug in the community so that people can have access to water. We build schools. Here, this is an old slide that says 20 schools. I think now we are at 30 schools, the capacity to hold 10,000 students. And we have assisted farmers around our plantation, putting them in cooperatives to be able to provide them with inputs and linking them to market so that they will also participate in the creation of prosperity through agribusiness. To capital, the company has established a not-for-profit foundation that will emphasize this kind of assistance that is being provided to the community around the operational sites of the company. And the foundation supports community development projects, environmental preservation. You know the story about the orangutan in Malaysia, Indonesia. Well, in DR Congo, we have another primate that is called the bonobo. It's the closest species to the human species, and it's only found in DR Congo. We don't want that species to be harmed, so we have in place a program to protect the bonobo because the hunters like to hunt it, and we are trying to discourage that practice so that we can protect these animals. We do provide projects for education, for helping placement of graduates from higher education institutions so that they can get good jobs. And we do provide also projects for nutrition and health to improve the public health in the area that we are. Actually, we estimate that our actions are hitting 16 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So this is to say that the palm oil industry has a tremendous potential for bringing change and positive change to Africa. And I would like to invite every one of you who is here to join us next year in DR Congo. We will be celebrating 115 years for the company. We will also be celebrating 5 years of the new management. And we'd like to invite ISP, if you'd like to join us, we'll be very, very happy to celebrate with you all. Thank you.